This is the Nightwolf howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the Transformers the movie Studio Series Ultra Magnus. It's kind of funny since this guy came out, what was it, a year ago or was it 2 years ago? He's been sitting around for that long that I just haven't gotten around to doing anything with. But now that I'm trying to rearrange that room, I want to get some of these other characters out of the way because I will pack up my old Ultra Magnus is from the War for Cybertron or whatever. Yeah, I guess it was War for Cybertron series of figures. Anyway, on the front we just have a scene kind of reminiscent of the movie. On the side we just got a close-up of his face. On the other side we have his whole body. Same picture as the front, just, you know, just really without the background. On the top we see the shuttle they escaped in, which, you know what? I'm kind of surprised. I wouldn't, like, this isn't the same arc as what we got in the original G1 cartoon series. So I'm surprised they haven't actually made this into a Transformer yet. Maybe this will be a future Titan class. And remember, the front quarter of the ship does launch on its own, so you could actually theoretically make this into two separate Transformers. And on the back of the box, we have product shots of him in robot mode. He comes with a matrix of leadership or space for it. I don't know if he actually comes with it. And you can put other cars on top of him. And of course, a background. Probably the same background that's actually, well, let's see. Back of the shuttle. Yeah, back of the shuttle. So like the same background that's actually on the front of the box. So anyway, let's open them up and see how we do. That sucks. There we go. Here's our instruction sheet. We will throw that away for now. I wonder why the shuttle's got so much red on. I don't remember the shuttles having different color schemes, to be honest, from the movie. But this is a nice backdrop display. Maybe we'll work it into the display itself. I think this is actually a lower base, though, than what was on the Optimus Prime. I really hope that his smokestacks are, or the little stacks on the side of his head are in this bundle here. Otherwise, I am going to be highly upset. I want to know who the asshole is who thought that they should go ahead and wrap this up this much in tape also. The thing is, I'm afraid I would cut into it if I tried using a knife. Oh, we got his antennas. Whoever came up with this wrapping idea for these ones, I hope you get a toothache that you can't get rid of. So let's look at the equipment below. We have a gun that is more reminiscent of his original blaster from the toy. And then we have one of the more generic looking guns that they used in the Transformer cartoon series. In fact, this looks like a giant version of the gun that Bumblebee often used. We got Ultra Magnus's rocket launchers. Oh, look at that. There's a piece of cardboard back here. Apparently that piece of cardboard was the only thing keeping his head in place. Alright, so he's got the teeny tiny little missile things here, which I guess this is technically accurate to the cartoon series. Because I think the only time that they launched off of him, they were like that small. And they do seem to be more or less Blast Effects compatible, although that is not a very tight fit. Good lord. That one's a better fit. Dude looks like he's drunk now. So yeah, you can have it, the missile launching off like that. I would have preferred a longer peg on the missile, to be perfectly honest. So there's a long side and a short side on the antenna here on the bottom. So obviously one goes in the front, one goes in the back. I am not sure which is which, though there is more of a curve on the longer one. Oh, hey. It says right and left on these. My right or his right? Oh, come on. No way. Let's raise this up a little bit more here. I want to let you guys know, he does have light piping. I don't know how clearly it's coming in right now. I think you can kind of see it. He has blue eyes. The light piping thing in the back is clear, though. So that's kind of nice. This kind of reminds me of when you take a picture of when you try to get a low shot of a woman with large breasts and you can't quite see the head. I'm trying to find a good angle on this camera right now. It's not easy. Alright, so our blast effects. I think this is the first time we've seen a blast effect that has actually had some smoky coloring to it. A couple of them have that. Oh, this one does too. And so does this one. So, while I do like the blast effects overall, I also kind of think they're a little bit annoying too. But, yeah. So these small ones all appear to be the same effect, and then all of these are actually different. Although I had expected these two to be the same, they are not. So you just build a longer and longer blast effect with this. You can hold either gun just fine in his hands, as expected. However, I would like to point out, this is weird though, okay? Okay, so the handle is a separate piece of plastic than the gun. And as you can see, because of the tab there, the gun is also clear before it's painted. You can also see that at the tip. Which of course is blast effect compatible. I wonder how that will work with the longevity of the weapons, though. Articulation wise, head can go way back, forward, and you can look down pretty good. Although he ain't going to see nothing with his big old boobies. Head rotates to the left and to the right, and does a 360. And the joint itself, the ball joint itself, does allow for quite a bit of movement as well. So we kind of actually have the G.I. Joe chicken neck going on here too, with the way they got that set up, because it's like well, there's a hinge and then a ball at the top. His chest should open up because we need to be able to get access to the matrix. Oh, okay, that's cool. So when you lift this up, it actually releases these two parts, which spring loaded out. The inside, the sculpting inside of here is really nice, and it's painted really well, which I think they put more effort on the inside of him than they did on the Optimus Prime. But he also came out a couple years ago when they weren't being quite as cheap as they are today. However, his big old meat hooks there ain't fitting in that chest plate to grab that matrix. And it does look like the door is clear plastic painted all the way. So hopefully that won't break in the future. The arms rotate 360 with a nice sounding ratchet joint. We can also lift up on the hinge here. Unfortunately, they didn't do any kind of setup here where, you know, to make it look like the elbow is, or the, well, you know how they sometimes do on the knees where, or in the elbows where they show a little curvature there to kind of hide the fact that it's bending at a 90-degree hinge. They didn't do that here. Also, to be honest, this does not really tab into place very well. There's a slight bit of catch, but not much. His arm has a 90-degree elbow bend, and that's it. Can't turn it there. So there's no actual bicep hinge in here, is there? Oh no, there we go. It was just stuck. All right, so we do have a bicep hinge, rotation, whatever. He has articulated fingers. Pointer finger and the other fingers are all separate. This is so that he can use his little pinkies here, or his pointer fingers to, you know, grab the matrix. Or he can kind of do a finger gun. I do like when they give us the articulated fingers. He does have a full rotation at the side here. His skirt lifts up to allow for a higher kick. Side skirt also moves over so you can kick out further. And the butt flap opens up so you can kick back really far. Now, if I remember correctly from the... This is another one where you're supposed to kind of recreate the death scene, where parts are supposed to pull off. Okay, there. Let's see. So his leg does come off. I don't know if that actually has anything to do with transformation. Oh God, is he a parts former too? I don't remember if he's supposed to be or not. That's gonna make this complicated. But both legs have that feature. And there should be one for the arms, too. This also seems to be the same peg that they were using on the combiner, so I kind of wonder if you dug out your old Combiner Wars combiners, if you could actually put them in there. You know what? I didn't finish the articulation either, did I? He does have a thigh swivel, which you don't have a full range of motion because of the way the leg is designed. Single joint in the knee. Doesn't look like we can really modify the transformation there. But we do have, of course, an ankle rocker. So he can spread out and have his feet on the ground still. Like I said, I'm pretty sure his arm is also supposed to come off. Alright guys, I am stumped. Like I said, I thought his arm was supposed to come off, but I'm not really sure how to get it to come off. So maybe I'll figure that out as we transform him. Speaking of which, I have this horrible feeling I'm going to have to split his transformation off into a separate video like I did with Optimus Prime. I don't even know where to start on this one. These little tabs, though, are the only things that seem to be holding the arms into place. So going for a more traditional start to Ultra Magnus, I think. Ah, we found it. The spot that lets you pull his arm off. You have to partially untransform him in order to get it to work. Well, I wish I'd realized that earlier. Well, the problem is, okay. So these tabs go in back here, but they're not very tightly in there. These things have to fold forward because Ultra Magnus doesn't have anything on the outside. Oh, hey, I wonder. Maybe that's part of the problem I was having. His head's not particularly well hidden underneath there. I just want to say, and I don't know if that's because I just didn't quite transform that part right, or if it's just a bad design issue. I gotta not have something right. We'll have to double check that part later. I'm not sure why this part spins if it doesn't go all the way around. So somewhere along the lines, I'm missing something. So there's a little tab here and a slot over here that I assume those need to come together, but I don't know how to get that to shrink down. So I'm going to have to cheat. So it did look like we needed to turn that up. These tabs are supposed to hook into here. But how do you... I don't see how you can press this. Okay, well, let's try this. Okay. I'm not sure what's going on up here that these things aren't straight, though. Ah. Well, even with that snapped into position, it's still not. There we go. Okay, wait a minute, hold on. Oh, okay. There we go. Alright, so hold on. So looking at the directions, apparently these two tabs are supposed to fit, I think, in the two slots on the side of his face. Let's see. Because looking at this, I apparently lost the page now. Where was the image I just saw? Oh, here we go. So yeah, these two little slots on that one red part are supposed to fit on his head sideways somewhere. Alright, did we get those lined up now? Okay. Oh. You actually have to drop down the tires too. I didn't realize that. Not that it helps him roll at all. So the cab can swing on there, like, for turning. Can't quite do that whole, you know, a lot of times I'll have Optimus Prime all the way forward, basically jackknifing the trailer. I wonder if that's supposed to be like that, or if that needs to be changed too. I guess that's supposed to be the stop, so a car doesn't go all the way off there. Of course, you can put a car or two up on the top here. And fit one back here. The thing is, if this laid flat, you should be able to fit another car in there, so you should theoretically be able to fit 4 cars on this guy. Ah, okay. So you couldn't really see what I just did there. So this part here has been up there like that. That also folds down, and then this can fold down. Oh. So now we should be able to fit 4 cars on here if we wanted to. Although, the deluxe sizes are so different, I'm not sure how well that's going to work anyway. I only have Cliff Jumper here. Articulation-wise, in truck mode, you have the tailgate that goes down. If you pop that out, that goes down so that you can... theoretically, the cars would go up there, but they didn't really leave a lot of room for doing that, actually. And of course, you have to peg those back into place. The truck cab turns a little bit on the front. Which, I guess this is another thing, too. I don't have the Studio Series Optimus with me, which is too bad. But when you get right down to it, the cab modes should be the same size because they are in the cartoon. But they're not, and they don't really look quite the same. Obviously, we can turn the missiles because they're just pegged in there. Which, remind me again, because I thought in the cartoon weren't they in straight in front? Or was that just on the toy? Overall, I mean, he's not a bad figure. I don't foresee myself keeping him in vehicle mode ever. He's going to spend his time in robot mode. We did see that you can take his arms and his legs off to recreate the scene where he got blown apart by Galvatron in the sweeps. And, yeah, I guess that's about it. He rolls like crap. I mean, even once you position the wheels on the back right, there's still too much stuff down here. And it's not like this doesn't, the back skirt piece doesn't really go forward under there, and wouldn't anyway because it would get in the way of that. And it seems like this area here is probably part of what's interfering with the rolling. That, and, you know, it's just these wheels don't sit far enough down either. Because when you watch it, the only wheels that seem to be moving are this one and this one. So, 2, 3, 4. All 5 of the wheels on this side, they're not on the ground at one time. So that's, I mean, in all truth, that's been a problem pretty much with every truck and trailer transformer I think I've ever used. I think the Optimus Prime was mostly okay. But yeah, they just don't line up the very well. There needs to be more leeway somehow in the way the wheels are designed, so that even if you don't have it quite properly transformed, although I'm pretty sure I do at this point, it should still be able to get into that position. But go ahead and let me know what you guys think. Actually, where are we supposed to put the weapons on this thing? Because, yeah, there's like a little slot here that you would think would be for weapon storage. But it kind of looks like, in the instructions, that we're just going back to just pegging in the handles again. So I think that'll do it at our look. Vehicle mode looks okay in theory, but in practice it kind of sucks. Robot mode was great, and you know, once you figure out how to pull the parts off, you can recreate the scene where he gets blown apart, like I said. And overall, I mean, it's not a bad figure. I just wish that like they would just rework the way they set the wheels up so that, again, you can get all of them rolling smoothly on something like this. Because this wasn't really a problem back in the 80s with the Transformers. Because I don't remember the Ultra Magnus that I have from back then, you know, having any problem with all the wheels moving. They all moved fine. But again, let me know what you think. I think I already said that already. Sorry. I will probably have split the transformation off from the regular review video. like I did with Optimus Prime. And that way, if you want to watch both, you can. And if you don't have to. But once again, thanks for watching. Please feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this. I'll leave a like, please. That'd be great. And as always, thanks for watching. Peace and love.